Good evening and welcome to the fourth episode of How Hutch Cooks. During the week the producers have turned this into an episode and I think I've signed up for a 13-week season. We'll see how far that goes. Starting off again with They Know Who They Are. Through the week someone very close to us celebrated his 23rd birthday. You can see his balloons going down slowly in the background, and we wish him a very happy birthday, and we had a terrific night, and he knows who he is. We also, during the week, I was in contact over the last 2 weeks with a couple of golfing friends and a close friend who've had suffering some health problems. All your golfing friends and myself and our friends wish you a speedy recovery. We know one of you's got a bit to go yet. So you know who you are, and we will do one of your favourite recipes very soon. And today is Mother's Day, and all the mothers know who they are, so happy birthday to all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day. I'm not sure all the fathers know who they are, but certainly all the mothers know who they are, and happy Mother's Day. So that's it for this week's You Know Who You Are. Today we're going to have Italy meet England. Italy's famous pasta mista will meet England's sausage rolls for a sausage roll mista. We'll be making 3 types of sausage rolls. In fact, they're more like mincemeat in puff pastry, but let's stick to sausage rolls. We'll be trying tonight pork, pear and fennel sausage rolls, honey, lamb and rosemary, and beef with caramelised onion and mustard. We'll see how it goes. And there'll be some guinea pigs tomorrow, no doubt, when they're finished. Tonight's cook may take a little bit of longer, so the producers want us to cut the time down, so there may be a little bit more editing, and you'll be able to work that out with the world first clock on How Hutch Cooks. The virtual cameraman has not yet solved all the focusing problems, but we will work on that. Maybe next season there'll be an upgrade in cameras and instrumentation. Alright, before I came on air tonight, for these sausage rolls, the first one we'll do is pork, pear and fennel. I've prepared an onion and carrot sofrito. This sofrito will go into each of the sausage rolls as we combine the various ingredients for the sausage roll. Pork, pear and fennel. In this, and I bought myself a new cast iron fry pan, as you can see. I've caramelised slightly, not very much, 1 pear. Just to get the sugars working. We've got 1 pear slightly caramelised here. So, without wasting any more time, we'll grab a mixing bowl. There's a lot of love goes into this one, I can tell you. I bought 250 gram of the 3 types of meat: beef pork into the rubbish bin, beef, pork and lamb. I've been to Boccaccio today and bought some real breadcrumbs, some fresh stale breadcrumbs from Boccaccio Sellers, our favourite, when we've got time to get there, our favourite supermarket down on Burke Road and Belmore Road. Why do we put breadcrumbs in? We don't put too many in. Whoops. We don't want too many in. It's not to bulk out the thing. The reason we put a few breadcrumbs in is so that the flavour of the fat can is absorbed and kept within the sausage roll, and we don't lose all that flavour. So, as I said, we've got pork, pear and fennel. So the next thing to go in is the slightly caramelised pear. Whoa. I've got some onion for later that came tripping over, but we didn't lose too much into the thing. We'll just keep that low, and we'll put in a little bit of the sofrito, or maybe a bit more than a little. Third of the sofrito goes into the sausage mix, into the pork mix. A bit more, that'll do. Got 2 more to do. No, one for the pot. There we go, that looks enough. That was just a couple of carrots and a couple of onions I've cooked up for the 3 of these. Pork, pear and fennel. Before I put the fennel in, I've washed my hands, and we'll give this a bit of love. So if you've reduced your, got the sofrito, it's a bit warm, take the mincemeat out of the fridge because it's cold when you get it out, and it's not fun to mix it in cold. So we'll just get all these combined. Might have put in a little too much sofrito, but got to have a bit of Italian. It'll come together in a minute. I'll put in some salt. Salt loves meat, and meat loves salt, someone said. And some pepper. Don't need too much pepper, I don't think. I'll just turn that down. And here I've got some fennel seeds, and we'll add those in. Good pinch of Checkers fennel seeds. Good couple of pinches of fennel seeds so you can taste it. And I'll just work that for a bit. I'll bring that all together, and then we'll cut it up into the sausage. We'll put it into the pastries and cut it up into the sausage rolls. Back soon. Okay, back again. I've brought all those ingredients together into a stainless mixing bowl, ready to assemble the first pasta Mista sausage roll, pork, pear and fennel. Got a sheet of Pampas puff pastry out of the fridge that I bought this morning. They come in these blue things. Just put a bit of flour on the board to handle it so they don't stick. Now find, when I cook these sausage rolls, I try to cut this in half. This blue, they're in squares, so cut along the long edge, like so. Just guess half, you'll have to work that out. And you grab a bit of the sausage mince that you've done, and you just work it round about the middle third. Keep it in about the middle third, because we have to roll this over in a minute. Even the middle core, a bit less than a third, and not too high. Just get the meat in. I don't know, yeah, you can see what I'm doing, I think. Just working it into this, try and get out to the edges. Be interesting to see how many this makes. Remembering this is about 250 grams of meat. Alright, that looks okay. It's not too important. Now the trick here is a bit of egg wash. And what you do is you just egg wash the bottom third so that when it acts as the glue. It acts as the glue. Keep these together. And you grab the other edge, pull the glue off. Hopefully it comes off. Roll your pastry over. And while you're doing it, you're pushing your meat back into that roll, if that makes sense. It does when you're doing it, but to describe it might make quite the same sense. Keep rolling over so that you get a reasonable connection between the pastry where the egg wash has been. Take the blue off, roll it out to the blue, and it should be all joined together pretty well. And the flour, a bit of flour Into the bin goes that bit of blue. Now I find I cut these into 6. You can cut them into 4, cut them into what you like. Rumour today was you can use a toothpick to cut tooth floss, whatever you call it, and wrap it around and pull the floss and it'll cut it for you. But I got my faithful knife. Before I do that, nearly forgot, coat the top with some egg wash again. That'll bring some colour into it, like so. Beautiful. And then I'm going to put some fennel seeds on top as well, just, you know, for a bit of artistic merit. But they also add a bit of flavour. It's mainly the artistic merit, and you'll know which ones, sort of, are the pork, pear and fennel. Alright, some fennel seeds on top. Cut this into 6. Like so. Once the pastry warms up, it sort of moves around a bit. It's a bit of a nuisance. Maybe the tooth floss is a good idea. And there we have 6 sausage rolls ready to go on a tray, a wire tray for baking. And I'll finish off that 250, I'll see how many you get, and I'll put them on the tray on a piece of greaseproof paper on a wire tray, and we'll cook them in the oven for however long they need, about 20 minutes at 220. I'll be back soon if I can get my hand out of the road of the camera. Okay, we're back again. I've assembled, we've got 18 sausage rolls out of that 250 odd gram of mince. So these are now ready to go in the oven. I'll work out how to put the tray back in. Ah, shit. Time to turn off, slight malfunction. We'll sort this out. Okay, all good, back on air. I'll tell you what, they're making these aprons tighter than they used to. Had a small mishap there. The tray fell off the oven rails and there was a little bit of roly-poly with the sausage rolls, but they've been rescued. They may not meet Coles standard and they go in not so quite good, but I guarantee that the taste will be just as good. So that's all good. We're back on track to make our second one, honey, lamb and rosemary. So again, same procedure, 250 gram of mince, some of our famous sofrito, that's alright. I cut up some rosemary out of our garden, not that we've got a big garden, but we're trying. Put some rosemary in there, and I went to the supermarket today and bought some, I'll read this to you. Cause Beechworth honey, mountain honey, this one. And it says I'm strong and bitey and perfect for baking, so that's why we bought it. My son also didn't want us to just use everyday run-of-the-mill honey, so I conceded to some flash stuff, which didn't really cost any more when I looked at it. Anyway, so we'll put in a good dollop of honey. Don't know if people like honey, lamb and rosemary, but I like it. There's a dollop of honey. This might be a bit wet. Salt and pepper. Now, when we lost we had our mishap, we've lost a bit of heat in the oven, so they're going to take a bit longer. The oven dropped about 60 degrees, so that's a bit of a nuisance. Bit of salt and pepper. I'll give that the love again to bring all the ingredients together, cut up another 18 or so sausage rolls, and I'll be back with you when this lot are prepared, and I'll give you a rundown on how the others are going. All good, see you soon. And you can tell by the clock. Okay, back again. I don't know how long I've been away, but you'll be able to tell from the clock, and so will I. The pork, pear and fennel are progressing well. I've taken them off a middle rack and put them on a lower rack. You can see some hot spots. And I don't know if you can see here, I've put the other 18 onto the middle rack. They're the honey, lamb and rosemary. Those of you with a sharp eye would have noticed that I'd left out the breadcrumbs in the previous one. When I was mixing it was clearly too moist, so in went the breadcrumbs, so they haven't been missed out. We'll put these in. Couple of tips with your pastry. When it gets warm, it gets sticky. When it's cold, it has a tendency to crack, so you've sort of got to get it at the right time. When you're cutting them, use a really sharp knife if you've got one, and light pressure, and let the knife just guide through the pastry. Otherwise, the pastry sticks to your knife if you're not careful. Anyway, a couple of useless tips. Useless or useful, I don't know. Alright, I'll put these in. I suspect I'll be back shortly and assemble the last beef, caramelised onion and mustard, and the first ones should be out of the oven by then as well. So we'll see you very soon again. Okay, we're back again, ready to assemble our beef, caramelised onion and mustard. You can probably smell it. Great joke. But I'm caramelising some onion in some basaltic vinegar. Basaltic, not basaltic. What do they call it? Balsamic vinegar. A little bit of sugar and a little bit of water just to help it caramelise in the famous wok. So we've got the 250 gram of minced beef, a little bit of, to keep the fat in, a little bit of breadcrumb, not too much, we'll put some sofrito in, with my spoon. And I'm keeping an eye on those pork, pear and fennel, look like they're nearly ready. Anyway, that's the last of the sofrito. I'll just let this balsamic go a bit further, this caramelised onion rather, till all that moisture, you can see the moisture coming off it. That'll reduce out, that'll be ready in a minute. I'm going to put in a teaspoon, good teaspoon of mustard. Might put in 2 teaspoons. What am I doing? I put in 2 teaspoons of mustard. It's only Dijon, so it won't be too, shouldn't overpower it. That's in there. Salt and pepper, salt. Pepper. Not the greatest pepper grinder. Now you might have noticed in the last one I left off the top of the sausage rolls, but I actually added some sesame seed later. So the other ones, we know the lamb by the sesame seeds on top. That's ready. Caramelised onions ready, looks alright. We'll put that in there, that'll be hot for the loving hands. And I was going to, when I can find it, we've got that many jars of paprika. I'm going to try a little bit of paprika in this, around the house. Be careful, that's plenty I think. Probably a teaspoon went in it, it's got a odour. I'm going to just get this starting to mix with the wooden spoon, because those caramelised onions will be hot. It's alright, I'll be able to get some love into those. I'll get some love into those shortly, and I'll assemble those. In the meantime, I'll pull out the bottom tray. I think the pork, pear and fennel's cooked. We'll let that cool. We might have a taste before we even finish the show. Anyway, some love to go into the beef and caramelised onion, and we'll see you shortly. Thought I'd come on for just a quick minute. I haven't assembled the beef and caramelised onion mustard yet, but I've just pulled out of the oven the pork, pear and fennel. They're looking really good. I hope you can see that. I'll transfer them onto a cooling tray and we'll get on with the beef. See you again soon. Okay, back again. I've just finished preparing the beef, caramelised onion and mustard. The smoky paprika, boy, that'll be interesting because you could certainly smell it in the come together. Honey, lamb and rosemary are finished and they're about to go on the cooling tray. As I put in our final batch of beef and steak and beef and caramelised onion. Actually, I'll put them on the middle shelf where they should be. Come on, tray. That's it. And they'll be ready in 15 minutes probably, the way things are going. They'll cool down, and that's about it. It's been a long cook, you can tell by the thing. It's a messy cook for Wendy on Mother's Day, but we'll get through that. I hope sausage Roll-Mista, the combination of England and Italy, has come together, or mincemeat in puff pastry, as many would call it. In the last lot I put fennel and sesame seed on top, so when everyone tells me they all taste like chicken, I'll be able to tell them which flavour it is. But that'll be good. I'll take some of these to work tomorrow and see what abuse I get. Hope this edit's a bit shorter. Great recipe for a gold day and you've got some time and nothing to do. Have a bit of fun. Use your own ingredients. It doesn't matter. It's hard to stuff up and you only stuff it up. It doesn't matter if you stuff it up once or twice. I guarantee you eat them all. See you next week.